Hey guys, welcome back to Clockwise Crypto. Hope you are moving forward in everything that you do. Let's dive right into what's going on in these markets. Ethereum price, they're saying nosedives, and why ETH could test $1,200 soon. I think that is a bit conservative. I think under $1,000 is coming. Sitting here looking at this article, and Ethereum price drops fresh right after the ETH merge. It pretty much been falling off a cliff ever since, and that's kind of why I did not give this notion to that the ETH merge, given all the delays, given where we are in the current market conditions. I just did not see that we would somehow be able to come out of what's going on globally. So with that being said, I just didn't think that there would be a big shift, and that it happened. So Ethereum pretty much falling off a cliff, respecting our counter trend line right there. You see our counter trend line, and pretty much we've left these markups on the charts because this is pretty much showing you the why behind why we have this analysis. Look at what happened here back in May, between January and May. Pretty much a counter trend line drop. We're waiting for the exact same thing. That's I didn't give into, it's at 2,000. If it broke 2,000 and Bitcoin broke 25,000, I would change my tune completely. The fact that that didn't happen is why we kept that sentiment with what was going on in our technical analysis here. So pretty much respecting this counter trend line, hanging out. If we scroll over here, it did the same thing. It hung out there, not just hanging out, and then finally broke, and we're expecting the same thing there as well. We have our EMAs cross. You don't see a lot of things on our charts. You see a stochastic, which we sometimes reference for divergence, and then you see our EMAs. Not a lot. We don't use a lot of banners or scanners, like I said in the previous video. It's just not our thing. Next article here, Bitcoin continues to slide as Dogecoin returns to top 10. Now, if you hate Dogecoin, I understand, but you got to admit, Dogecoin created a ton of millionaires the last bull run, a ton. So people were able to start with like $1,000, $100, and hold it and come out with 500,000, $1 million, 2 million. So it was life changing there for sure. Love it or hate it. But looking at the Bitcoin chart, kind of segueing over to that, it wicked our level of support. It wicked right there, and it's showing that we should have another break. We should break beneath this level of support right here. We should break that and then create a new low. That's what should happen. Now, nothing's guaranteed in these markets, I understand, but given everything that we've seen, you could even say there's a higher low right here as well. A new leg should follow. So I'm really just waiting on that big accumulation as soon as this breaks 18.5, because it breaks 18.5, it's heading towards 17.6. It breaks 17.6. If you look to the left, there's nothing there. Nothing there for a while. So it's pretty much going to fall off a cliff. So 14 to 17 is the range that I'm waiting for. It's going to be a big accumulation range for me. Yes, we are dollar cost averaging, but I am going to dump a bag at those levels if we happen to reach those levels. Stellar Lumen, good article in Stellar Lumen here. Price forms bearish top, risk more losses. That's to be expected. Like everything, you see the same counter trend line that we have on our charts, they're putting right there. I just have all the counter trend lines that you can put on any chart that go back towards the 7th of last month. I would consider that to be a counter trend line, and I consider that to be broken very soon. So that's what I'm looking at there. The next article here, $400 million in liquidations as Ethereum slumps 2-month lows. People had long positions on Ethereum, thinking that the merge would catapult it to 5,000 and eventually to 10,000. You'd literally make millions overnight, and that did not happen. I was against that buy. I was against that long because of what was going on globally. Like for me, I see that, we have September notoriously being a red month for crypto. We have inflation globally at an all-time high. We have pretty much, every global economic factor that you could think of is happening right now. And it did not seem that the ETH merge would somehow change all of that. So that was the reason why I did not go long, and I implored people not to go long, and it looks like a ton of people got wrecked with that drop, and it's unfortunate. But you definitely want to, make sure you do your due diligence when you talk about, going long, going leverage in crypto. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. We trade mostly Forex and commodities. We do trade crypto sometimes, but when we do, we are low risk because we know these swings, and you got to be able to survive the swings. So most people probably took massive losses. It's saying 400 million in liquidations. It's crazy. Next article here, biggest Fed rate hike in 40 years. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. I actually got a lot of value out of this article. The Fed rate hike is going to be a decision maker either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll see what happens, and that's going to be the FOMC for the month. And then spot price sinks after poor weekly close is another thing to pay attention to. Here's a good tweet from Material Indicators. If Bitcoin was really near the bottom, do you think there would be a liquidity gap between 18 and 18.5K? And you wouldn't expect there to be a solid biz at least to the June low of 17.5K. He has a point there. Like it's gonna happen. So US dollar is saying another thing to pay attention to. US dollar closed beneath multi-decade peak. Pretty much everything is falling off a cliff right now. And Bitcoin's following gold. Bitcoin's following stocks. And we've seen that. As hard as we don't want to admit that, it's happening. And it's something that you definitely want to pay attention to. Ethereum gets post-merge blues. Pretty much that dump that happened declined 25% last week. And, that was supposed to be the thing. Oh, it's going to $5,000. You got to look at the big picture. You got to look at the big picture. Luna pumped 50%. A project that really isn't a quality project, I would say, is it pumped 50%. That was one of the only projects to pump like that last week. So I would say the past 2 weeks, it was like Luna. So I took a bag out of Luna and just doubled my money. I doubled my Luna bag. I didn't double it. I cashed out, but I doubled my initial investment with Luna. And that was the only thing that moved. So that was an indicator like, okay, look, everything is not going to pump like Luna. You don't want to be in the same party as Luna. So Ethereum, there's also a grab of the 1355 low. And they're pretty much saying that, will the bulls be able to run it back? 4-hour close above 1355. Now, these people are talking about like short-term moves. Like, I'm trying to get in Ethereum and hold that thing for it to go to 10 grand. I'm not worried about these 2%, 10%. Like that doesn't interest me. I saw something about XRP pumping up like 10%. I'm not worried about 10%. I need XRP to go to like $5. Okay. Like that's what I'm talking about. I'm not in and out, especially crypto. I'm not in and out of crypto like we do Forex. It's just the gains are in the long-term holds. The life-changing gains are when you hold that thing for 2 to 3 years. Like that's when the real money is made. So sitting here looking at this article, another article here is the Dow falls. They're expecting another rate hike, and that's going to impact the market. And I think that's going to bring all this to another leg down. I think that news right there, the Dow falling, has the potential to collapse this market. Not necessarily collapse like it'd be gone forever, but collapse when I mean like another leg down. I believe that has the potential to give us that other leg down that we're looking for. Now, some big bullish news. You know how we feel about Cardano. Cardano, Vassal Fork enters final stage. This is big. It's just unfortunate that it's coming in a bear market. Like I said, I think it's going to have the same impact as the ETH merge. It's not going to be a lot of impact in this bear market. I think that it's going to be something around the bull market that's really going to separate Cardano from the masses and really give it that $5, that $3 price point that we all are waiting for to happen again. So definitely something that is something to pay attention to, and I'll pay attention to it. I definitely think it, because they're really adding value like long term. They're not worried about short term price action. It's more about long term value, and that's kind of why we we have patience with Cardano, because Cardano's in it for the long term, and definitely think it's going to be there. Ripple SEC case heads for conclusion after summary judgment filed. Now, this is something that, you know, is going to be big. I think still that it's not going to necessarily have like a market impact, but I do think it's going to be a big deal for XRP in the future, because XRP has people that have partnered with it already, but you also have a ton of people waiting for the conclusion of this to sign the dotted line with XRP as well. So definitely something to pay attention to when we look at these markets. So a ton of bullish news, a ton of uncertainty, but still, like XRP, Cardano, like HBAR, Binance, these people are making moves despite the market conditions. They're adding real value, real utility, and that's something that you want to pay attention to. So guys, I hope you got some value out of this video. Keep moving forward in everything that you do, and we'll see you soon.